Okay, Digging History fans. James and Bravo here. We're coming out of the woods. Not a real successful day, but as I was out there walking around, I did find some sort of a medallion. I don't know. I think John F. Kennedy's on it. I could be wrong, but I'll clean it up and look. So, here's the deal. You hit it every day, or however many days you can hit it. And some days you're going to do real well. Let me put my hat back on. And some days you're going to not do real well. But every day you're out here, you're getting exercise. And it is a mental health break to get out and do something for yourself. And I'm telling you, get out and do it. Don't worry about your age. You know, if you want to go see a doctor, you should see a doctor. Make sure you're cleared. But you see a lot of things out here. We've seen deer, we've seen snakes. We found an old privy here. We'll come back here later one day and we'll root through it and see if we can find anything. But I was up there in the woods and I was walking and I found a chain wrapped around a tree. And it reminded me of a pretty wicked story that a good friend of mine told me, who's been dead now for about 6 years. And Doc knew everything about this area. And he told me the story about a guy that used to have a dog, and he worked in the mines. And he would tie the dog up on a chain, up on the walkway back, and where he walked to work. Everybody walked to work. And it was a big area there. We found a lot of stuff on that trail. Well, one day he was working in the mine and it came a really bad storm. Well, when he came back out, he could see it was a really bad storm. He got worried about his dog. And so he went to the mine foreman. He said, will you let me go get my dog and make sure that he's okay? And it was a real bad storm. I mean, it was really bad. And the man went to go ask his foreman again, because his foreman said, give me a minute. This foreman said, no, your dog will be fine. Get back to work. That's what we pay you to do. And that's just the way things were. Doc told me this was probably around 1918 time frame, either right at the end of World War I or pretty close to the end of it. And so the man worked his whole shift and it was getting dark, and he came back and he was looking for his dog. And he found the chain. And it had rained so bad that this poor dog had slipped and strangled himself with the chain. Because it was a steep hill, it had rained, and I'm sure the dog was running around. He slipped and he was just hanging there, and he'd been dead for quite some time. Probably during most of the storm. Well, Doc told me that this worker was enraged by this, because he knows that if his boss would have let him go, he could have probably saved his dog's life. And I found a chain wrapped around a tree up there, and it was very, very old, and the tree had grown around it. And it was on that trail, and I'm not kidding. I wish that I would have got a video of it, and next time I'm up there, I will. But Doc told me that the man was enraged about that, and he went to his supervisor's home, which is right up here behind me, and he murdered him. Just walked in, shot him dead. Burned his cabin down. And no joke, you can go up in here and you can find, the remnants of a burnt house. Now, I've never verified that story, but I never had a reason to verify that story because Doc never lied. And so he probably got it from somebody else, and it may have been even before 1919. But one thing that Doc did tell me is back in these woods that every now and then, said you'll hear a dog barking and you'll see a man. walking with a dog. And while I have not seen that yet, I'm sitting here right about the time that it's getting to be dusk. And as Bravo and I were coming out of the woods, we didn't see it, but we surely heard a dog barking. Now, could it have been one of the dogs in the neighborhood? Probably, maybe. But it was awful close to where we saw that chain, folks. So, it's getting close to Halloween. And while this isn't, I guess it is a ghost story, because it's built, most ghost stories are built on partial truths and some exasperations over the year. But I do believe that there was a man that was killed in this area because he was a supervisor that would not let his minor go and get his dog in a storm. It's just kind of spooky. Right where I'm at is where that cabin was at that burnt down. So, and that's Bravo, and that's James McCormick. We're going to tell you, have a great day, folks. Keep your eyes open. Get out, get to digging. Remember, you can't find anything sitting on the couch. Get out and test yourself. Right, Bravo? Uh-oh, he sees something. We're going to get out of here, folks. God bless. Have a good night.